Hello, welcome to Walk in the Park. My name is Tony Ingram, and this is episode 105, recorded on June 3rd, 2015. So, Walk in the Park, if you want to see all of our shows, all of my shows, walkinpark.com. Go there, and we have them all in my vid blog there, and you can find them. Well, it is springtime. Springtime in the mountains, springtime in the Finger Lakes, springtime all over the Northern Hemisphere. And actually, obviously, quite advanced into spring. We're into late spring now. And we've had some of the sort of traditional beginning of summer kinds of days happening, like Memorial Day, which was the 25th, and but it's still into spring. Everything's leafed out. And on Memorial Day, which was a little over a week ago, I was at Buttermilk Falls State Park with some friends. We're having a little picnic and a party and celebrating my birthday because it was last week as well. And our friends sang a song for me, so I recorded it and made it into a little video for us all to enjoy. And it's called Spring O Spring, so we're going to go enjoy that song by my friend Becca Harbor and musicians Will Feudeman and Richie Holtz. So coming right up, Spring O Spring. Yeah.
Spring, oh spring, oh spring, oh spring, the buds are opening. Early woodland flowers blooming make my heart sing. Peepers are a-calling and the toads trill on warm nights. Spring, oh spring, the season of delight. Spring, oh spring, oh spring, oh spring, the trees are leafing out. A black-throated green warbler is a-singing from the bough. Woodcocks call and twitter as they circle 'neath the moon. Spring, oh luscious spring, came not too soon. Spring, oh spring, oh spring, oh spring, the rain is falling down. Branches are a-dripping with that lovely wetwood sound. Frogs are a-clacking and the virile goes on and on and on. Spring, oh spring, there's tadpoles in the pond. Spring, oh spring, oh spring, oh spring, the sun heats up the land. Young green shoots and ferny fronds are rising up so grand. Birds are courting, building nests, and birds are giving birth. Spring, oh spring, the cycle of earth. Go, Will. Spring, oh spring, oh spring, oh spring, red ups are out again. Walking in the leaf debris amidst the wet green glens. Wild leaf carpets sprinkled with blue cohosh and trillium. Spring, another cycle starts again. Spring, oh spring, oh spring, oh spring, the buds are opening. Early woodland flowers blooming make my heart sing. Peepers are calling and the toads trill on warm nights. Spring, oh spring, the season of delight. Spring, oh spring, the season of delight.
Oh, beautiful. Really heartfelt, open kind of song. Becca is, of course, a naturalist and a songwriter, and so it makes a really nice combination. There are not that many songwriters out there, musicians, groups, and so forth that sing about natural history, sing about nature, sing about the environment. There are a few, and she is one of them. So that was really delightful for us, for her to share that with us all this spring. So as one friend said, that was the first time she'd ever heard of a song include the black-throated green warbler in it. So most people don't know that bird, although it's quite common in the woods this time of year. So one of the other things that we know happens and just happened is the Ithaca Festival. Yes, from May 28th through the 31st. This is one of the earlier times. The Ithaca Festival was all through downtown Ithaca. Someday they'll finish off the Commons. I don't know what century it'll be, but it's all down the west end of the Commons, and then also in DeWitt Park, which has actually turned into quite a nice venue, I think. It's brought some life to that park. And I have a little bit of coverage of that. I did a little video of the festival parade, some highlights from it, which I think you'll enjoy. Just some little clips. It's about a 2-minute video here, so we'll go to that. Bring it up here in a second. The Ithaca Festival Parade. Okay. Sort of the spirit of Ithaca comes out in the parade. It's probably one of the funkiest parades around. So it's always a lot of fun. That one happened to be on my birthday, so everybody, the whole town was celebrating my birthday. That was kind of a fun idea. So I did, that was, of course, took place in DeWitt Park where I was standing, so that's sort of my excuse for including in Walk in the Park and my Park Minute mini-series. But I did take a little bit of other video. I didn't try to cover the whole thing, but I caught a couple of other clips that give some of the spirit. And the end of the Commons, there was a Cayuga Street stage, and then all up and down Cayuga Street were craft vendors and so forth. And then at the Commons, stretched on for whatever, 2 or 3 blocks of construction. And it seems like it'll never get done. There's probably a whole college undergraduate class that never saw the Commons when it wasn't under construction. In any case, we've adapted, and hopefully they'll get it open. They say maybe they'll get it open this summer. They keep saying that. So maybe next year we'll have the Commons. In any case, at the end of the Commons, I've got a little clip here of two different acts. One of them is the African dance. Let's see. Do I have that here? Wassa Pan Africa Dance Ensemble USA. That was on Saturday. It was about 88 degrees. It was really hot. Sweat was pouring off the dancers. They were right in the sun. And then on Sunday, the 31st, it was about 40 degrees colder. And on the stage is 5 Mile Drive, a band. One of my friends plays in that, so I wanted to catch that. And amazingly, they're wearing T-shirts too, but it was really quite chilly. They said it was wreaking havoc with their instruments. So anyway, here's a short clip showing the Wassa Pan Africa Dance Ensemble USA and 5 Mile Drive. Coming right up here. We'll get it up on the next clip here. Coming up. Okay. So why do I include that part of the festival? It has nothing to do with parks, does it? Well, I actually consider the Ithaca Commons as a kind of park, or the Cornell Arts Quad is a kind of park. They're public places that people gather. There may be some trees, there may be not, but they're park-like places. So anyway, hopefully we'll get to actually enjoy all this stuff they've been doing out there. Now we can go out to our actual formal state parks now and take the gorge trails, like here at Treman, Upper Enfield Gorge and Robert Treman State Park. The gorge is now open. A couple of years ago it was largely closed because of flood damage. It took a long time. It took them about a year to fix that, but it's open. It took a while to get gorges open. One of the things they have to do to get the gorges open, and people don't always know this, and it's one of the things that because they don't realize it, they go into gorges maybe a little too early. But in spots like this, underneath a big cliff, there is a lot of rock that has been loosened by the winter frost. This weak shale around here easily splits up on the surface from the winter wet and freezing and thawing. And so we have to send people down called scalers. They're park employees. This happens to be at Watkins Glen State Park in the first big section of gorge past the entrance tunnel there, in an area used to be called Glen Alpha. There's a guy named Bill, I believe, Bill McElroy, I think that probably is him, who the rappels down the cliff. There are a couple of people up top that are spotting him up there, belaying him down. And he has what's called a fireman's pike in his arms, and he is knocking off as much of the loose rock as anybody can do, and above the trail, because the gorge trail is right below that, so that it doesn't fall down on our heads in the summer. Now, there's no 100% guarantee about that, of course. I mean, they can't get everything, but they get everything they possibly can. So that's just something to has to be done every year. They do it at Buttermilk, they do it at Treman, they do it at Watkins Glen. Also, if you've been up to Fillmore Glen in Moravia in Cayuga County, they do it there. And also in one of the other parks in the Finger Lakes State Park region, Stony Brook, out in Dansville, extreme northwestern Steuben County, they do it there. And in some other parts of the state, like in Niagara Gorge and John Boyd Thatcher State Park near Albany, and perhaps some others. So scaling is an important public safety job done, and it's a dangerous and arduous one. I've talked to the scalers, and it's we really should appreciate what they do. Well, I've got another little video series I've started. I've got Walk in the Park. I've got Park Minute. You've seen some of those. Saw one tonight. The one about the festival parade is one of my Park Minute series. Also showing on Pegasus. There's one I don't, or at least I haven't shown in Pegasus, which is much shorter. It's mainly for showing online, called Glimpses of Nature. So I have done a few of those already in the last month, and I've strung them together into a video that's going to be about about a minute and a half. That's all it is total. So Glimpses of Nature. Sometimes there's voice, sometimes there isn't. Just short, really short clips about nature. The first one really short, like 6 seconds. So let's take a look at those. Glimpses of Nature. Bring it up here. Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. Buttermilk Creek was running full today. So that last one at Buttermilk Falls, I just put that together yesterday. I actually shot that footage yesterday, June 2nd. So I haven't even gotten that up online yet. So that'll be fun to see. When you put things up on Facebook, they just take off sometimes. But now we're going to go around the country a bit and looking at photographs that different parks, particularly national parks, but other sites as well, have posted, and see what they have to say about what's going on. Some of them are from right now, some of them are more general, but a number of interesting shots here. So the first one we're going to go to, get my notes out here. This is North Cascades National Park and Service Complex. It's up in northern Washington State, near the Canadian border. Place I've always wanted to go, but I haven't quite made it. And this was a posting of June 1st. Here's their caption, and it's a quotation: "Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. And that's from John Muir. And last week we were running it was an encore presentation of National Park Service program, documentary of John Muir and his life and his conservation legacy, one of the greatest conservationists. Created the Sierra Club. We'll talk about that in a minute. So this one is in North Carolina. North Carolina State Parks and Recreation. There are some new vantage points to enjoy the spectacular views at Chimney Rock State Park. So look at that view from Chimney Rock State Park. I haven't been there either. I've been to North Carolina and some of their wonderful sites, but I haven't made it to Chimney Rock. Now we'll pop to, see, where is this one? This one, okay. The caption is, a hidden gem in America's Pacific Northwest is the Cascade-Siskiyou National Monument in Oregon. Called an amazing treasure, Cascade-Siskiyou covers more than 62,000 acres and is best known for the unique landscapes created by the convergence of species from the high deserts of the northern Great Basin to the temperate rainforests of the Pacific coast. Pictured is the full moon above the stunning vista from the Cascade-Siskiyou National Monument. Photos by Bob Wick, Bureau of Land Management, Oregon. So there's a place. I haven't been there either. Looks like a wonderful place to go. Maybe you'll get there. They'll go a little closer to home on the east. One of our few national parks on the east coast, Shenandoah National Park. This is June 1st, so a couple of days ago, in honor of National Trails Day. And that's coming up this Saturday, which is June 6th. National Trails Day. I, the writer, whoever it is, I want to shine a spotlight on one of my favorite trails in Shenandoah National Park, Bear Fence Mountain. Now, I've been up there. I used to live in Virginia, and my mother lived down there, and my father did. And I used to go down there a lot, and I hiked so much in Shenandoah National Park, including this spot, Bear Fence Mountain. I have great memories from there. Very rocky spot, perfect for the more adventurous hiker and the romantic in all of us. This 1-mile rock scramble contains a spectacular 360-degree view, a unique feature in the park. And it certainly does. It's amazing. Catch a sunset from the summit, and I did that once, and enjoy as the evening sky fills with a beautiful spectrum of colors that speak for themselves, and watch the sun shed its last light on the valley below the mountains. So Shenandoah National Park, it is a wonderful place. Spent a lot of time there, and mountains get up to 4,000 feet. It's a pretty cool place, so recommend you check that out. Not so far away as our western mountains. Our eastern mountains aren't as spectacular, but they're as wonderful, I think. And like Adirondack Park is one of the biggest parks in the country. It's bigger than any park in the lower 48 states, and you can put several large western national parks in it. And only Alaska has larger state parks, or even parks at all, than Adirondack Park in New York, 6 million acres. Well, let's go take a look at a New Yorker. This was posted by Parks and Trails New York on May 31st. Walt Whitman was born on this day in 1819 on Long Island. His birthplace is a New York State historic site, one of 35 such places to learn about our amazing heritage. And the quotation here is, "Now I see the secret of making the best person. It is to grow in the open air and to eat and sleep with the earth." Hard to find a place on Long Island you can do that now. They do have a couple of campgrounds in the eastern part of the island. I used to live down there. Okay, so the desert. We're going to do a few desert pictures now. Death Valley National Park. This is on May 28th, last Thursday. While we were having the Ithaca Festival Parade, they were baking in the southwest desert sun. Now, their question is, where is this? Do you know what spring this is? No, I don't. I haven't been there since I was in college. And it was something like, 121 in the day. And then it was, I think, 5 o'clock at night, it was 111. 11 o'clock at night, it was 105. I don't know, I had to sleep on top of the picnic table in the Furnace Creek campground because it was so hot. And we had to pour water over ourselves, just had my shorts on. Oof, Really rough. I couldn't do that these days. It'd drive me right out. But then you go up the top of the Rocky Mountains, Rocky Mountain National Park. This is Trail Ridge Road, and it's sort of the opposite. This is also May 28th. Mother Nature continues to provide challenges for the seasonal opening of Trail Ridge Road. This is the highest highway in the country. And it goes up over 12,000 feet. And facilities such as the Alpine Visitor Center. We will continue to keep you posted when the road will open for the season. Members of the trail crew using all tools possible to dig out the buildings at Alpine Visitor Center. So I was up there just a few years, about 4 years ago. Better time of year. Look at them having to dig out the snow there. The crew slowly made their way through to the back door of the visitor center. I guess they had some heavy snow in the end of the winter here. But this is what it normally looks like in the summer, or maybe not by now, but we were there, I think, in late July, and there's still some snow up there, and you could have a snowball fight in late July and even into August, I suppose. And look at the mountains behind; they're all still snow-covered. But the air is thin. There's elk up there. It's a pretty neat place. So, yeah, our Western National Parks. If you can get out there, this is really the time of year, isn't it? For the most part, maybe the desert ones you want to wait till the fall. It's not so blazing hot if you can go there in the fall. Exploring and protecting this planet since 1892. Now, I said John Muir. John Muir founded and was the first president of the Sierra Club in 1892. And so they write, "We're as old as 123." This was on May 28th. "Thanks to the countless staff, volunteers, and activists over decades that have been part of the important work we do together, we heart you. Now back to exploring, enjoying, and protecting the planet." So 123 years old this year. So we'll go to now another really remote place you're not likely to get to, but those who do are fortunate. Denali National Park in central Alaska. This is where Mount McKinley is, the highest mountain in North America, over 20,000 feet high. However, that's not what this is. This was on May 27th, posted. Located just off the park road in Igloo Canyon. Cathedral Mountain is a wonderful to explore. Photo by Daniel A. Leifheit. How do you pronounce that? It's a German name. But that's Cathedral Mountain, Igloo Canyon. Wow. Cool. So now we'll go back to the desert. We're going to go to the desert southwest again. In fact, we're going to go to one of the most famous places, the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. This is, what's going on here? Wow! A lightning strike illuminates Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona. This photo was taken a few years ago from the south rim of the canyon by the Watchtower. Photo by Travis Rowe. So holy moly, that must have been quite a sight. I saw some pretty big lightning actually the other day. Storm that came through and looking on South Hill, going up South Hill, and wow. Then some wildflowers in the Grand Canyon. Well, hey, we're running out of time here, so I'm going to have to wrap it up. Thank you all for joining me. This has been Walk in the Park. Tony Ingram, June 3rd, episode 105. See you again soon. Thanks for joining us.